Hina, a second-year student at Waseda University, had just moved into a small apartment building in Nishi, Waseda. The place was old but cheap and located only 10 minutes from campus. The only strange thing about the building was the elevator. It was a narrow metal-walled box from the late 80s. The buttons were worn smooth. The lighting flickered. And sometimes the doors closed slower than they should. The landlord had warned her, "If it ever stops on the 5th floor, don't get out." But the building only had 4 floors. She laughed it off. Old man superstitions, she thought. Her first few nights were normal. The elevator creaked, hummed, and occasionally shook, but nothing unusual. Until Thursday. She returned from a late study session around 11:30 p.m., exhausted. She pressed the button for the 3rd floor, where her unit was. The doors closed, the lights flickered, and the elevator began to rise. But instead of stopping on the 3rd floor, it slid past it, past the 4th, and the display panel showed 5. Hina stared at it, confused. There was no 5th floor. She had walked the stairs before. The building ended at the roof. The elevator dinged softly, like it was satisfied with its arrival. The doors opened. A hallway stretched in front of her, identical to the floors below, but dimmer. The walls were a faded yellowish white. The lights flickered in slow, irregular rhythms, and a soft, cold draft swept past her feet. She froze. The landlord's words echoed in her mind. "If it stops on the 5th floor, don't get out." But her curiosity tugged at her. "Maybe it's just a service floor," she whispered to herself. That's when she saw her. A woman standing at the end of the hallway, wearing a white hospital gown, hair black and tangled, head slightly tilted forward, as if she had been waiting. Hina's breath caught in her throat. The woman slowly raised her hand. Not waving, not reaching, but pointing. Directly at Hina. Hina stumbled backward and slammed her fist on the close door button. The door shut painfully slow. The woman took one step forward, silent, gliding. The moment the doors closed, the elevator lurched violently downward. It stopped at the 3rd floor with a heavy thud. Hina ran to her apartment, locked her door, and didn't sleep that night. The next morning, she asked an elderly neighbor if the building ever had a 5th floor. The woman hesitated, then sighed. "There used to be," she said, voice low. "A psychiatric clinic on the 5th floor. 30 years ago, a patient jumped from the roof. In her hospital gown. They sealed the entire floor and renumbered the building." Hina's stomach twisted. "She still wanders," the neighbor added quietly, "looking for the room she died in." That night, Hina decided to take the stairs. She avoided the elevator completely. But around 2 a.m., she woke to a metallic ding, echoing faintly through the building, then another, and another. Almost like the elevator was moving on its own. Curiosity battled fear. She opened her door and peeked outside. The hallway was empty, but she could hear it clearly. The elevator was stopping on every floor. One by one, ding, ding. Then it reached the 3rd floor, her floor. The doors slid open. Hina held her breath, and from inside the elevator, she saw a single wet footprint, leading out, then another, and another, a trail of damp footprints, slowly heading down her hallway, straight toward her. Hina slammed her door shut and held the handle tight. Her heartbeat hammered in her ears. Outside, the footprints stopped right in front of her apartment. Silence, utter silence. Until she heard a soft, hollow knock, not on the door, but directly on her bedroom wall, as if someone stood inside the neighboring unit, or inside the walls themselves. The next morning, Hina packed her things and left the building. She never returned, but she still receives elevator notification sounds at random hours of the night. Ding, ding, as if something, or someone, is still trying to reach her.